think I think I got this all set. Hey, Brandon, come here. I want to show you something.
David, yes. We're gonna party behind you.
What you got?
Oh, I got our best whiskey for you, right? He's spraying for the good stuff this time.
Good.
What?
That is delicious. I like what you're doing with the place. You're getting all these antiques going.
Thank you. Yeah, you know my party.
Nice, nice painting there.
What do you think?
Very chic. Hey, why don't I get you in my film?
Me? No.
No, I'll have you play a character in it, you know? Let me just do like some test
No.
runs, you know? You're good with monologues and things. You're one of my best friends. I know you're not gonna do me wrong. Come on.
All right, all right. I'll do some Shakespeare for you.
Yeah, do that.
Wrong scene, but
No, go for it.
to be or not to be,
That's good.
that is the question.
We'll keep that going.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind.
That angle, keep that angle. I want to try to get other angles in this.
Arrows of outrageous fortune, or by opposing in.
And yeah, what's with the gloves though?
What, well. So, not to see if there's anything, I don't, not today. Stay this way for a minute. Scared. The darkness that got you. Nobody really feels safe in the dark except for a child. I'll open these, all right? But that. What a lovely. Maybe we couldn't have left the curtains open in the bright sunlight. Well, can't have it. Okay. We'll do it during the daytime. Better now, Phillip? Yes. Good. It's a museum piece now. We really should preserve it for posterity. That is such a hate sense. Out of this, David Kentley had his last drink. Should have been a beer or ginger ale. I always thought it was out of character for David to drink any of this rough. Is this character for to be murdered too? Yes, wasn't it? Good Americans usually die young on the battlefield. But the Davids of this world merely occupy space, which is what made him the perfect victim, the perfect murderer. Of course, he was a Harvard undergraduate. That might make it justifiable homicide. Yeah, be killed.
in less than 8 hours will be resting gently but firmly at the bottom of a lake.
Meanwhile, still here. Won't lock. All better.
More dangerous. Besides, the lock's too old, it won't work.
Wish it would. Wish we had it out of here. I wish it was somebody else.
The trifle late for that, don't you think? Who would you have preferred? Kenneth?
I don't know. I suppose anyone was good. As bad as any other. You perhaps. You frightened me. You always have from that very first day in prep school. Part of your charm, I suppose. I'm only joking, Brandon. I obviously can't take it as well as you, so I'm turning on you a little. Well. Yes, very. May I have a drink now?
Of course. This is an occasion called for champagne.
Champagne?
I put some in the ice bucket.
When did you put it there, Brandon?
Just before David arrived.
You were certain it would come off, weren't you?
Of course. No, I never did anything unless I did it first. I always wished for more artistic talent. Well, murder can be an art too. Power to kill can be just as satisfying as the power to create. Can you believe it, Phillip? We've actually done it, and all according to plan. Not a single infinitesimal thing has gone wrong. Perfect. And actually, we have killed for the sake of danger and for the sake of killing. Not even champagne can equal us or the occasion.
I'll take it though.
You're not scared anymore, are you, Phillip? We really can't have fear. Neither of us can. That's what separates us from them. What makes us superior? They talk about committing the perfect crime, but we do it. Nobody commits a murder just for here. It's us. Not afraid anymore, are you?
No,
Not even of me?
no.
Good.
You just astound me as always.
Well, that's even better. The date, of course.
Brandon, how do you feel
When?
during it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really remember feeling much of anything. Till his body went limp and I knew it was over. Then I felt tremendously exhilarated. How did you feel?
Oh, you don't think the party's a mistake, do you?
No. The party is the inspired finishing touch to our work. It's more. It's the signature of the arts. Not having it would be like
Painting the picture and not hanging it?
well, I don't think that's a very good choice of words.
That may turn out to be two choice thanks to the party.
Oh, wow. This party will be the most exciting ever given.
With these people?
They're dull, all right. The Kentleys couldn't be duller if they tried. They are David's mother and father, after all, so we didn't have to have them.
That doesn't make them any easier to talk to.
Don't worry. Can't buttering them up, little girl. She's banking everything up to me, David, but somehow I don't think she's going to succeed. Do you?
Oh, somehow I don't.
Well, she can switch back to Kenneth tonight. You must admit it was most considerate of us in light of recent events. Phillip,
What?
grab the other one.
What for?
You'll see. It's brilliant.
What's this all about?
I am making our work of art a masterpiece.
What the devil are you doing? Brandon, you're going too far.
What do you mean? Why? I just thought it'd be nice to have suffering. On this, it's a good idea.
Well, at least no one will try to open it this way.
I don't think you appreciate me, Phillip.
I'm beginning to, Brandon.
Come on, Mrs. Wilson will be back soon. Oh, did you remember to grab her key? Oh, I should have known.
I didn't forget. I have hers. I told her I lost mine.
Oh, good.
What are you going to explain this to her anyway?
I'm not.
Well, you gotta have some excuse.
You don't want to leave our guest water alone during supper.
You gotta have an excuse with the others.
Hey, all right. We have a very simple excuse right here. Mr. Kentley's coming mainly to look at books, so what could be better than having them here on this dining room table where Mr. Kentley can get. Considerate of us, isn't it? Most considerate. What? Who is it? It's Mrs. Wilson.
Brandon!
What the devil? Don't you have any more sense? What is it? What? What is it? Go on. Yank it out.
I can't.
Miss Wilson were here. She yank it out. Boom. A stupid display like that for the other food, just as good as the confession. Now stack these and get a hold of yourself. Now, if you let me keep the light on,
Oh, great, you're perfect.
it doesn't have to be. We agree on one platter. The crime of making a mistake. Being weak is a mistake.
Because it's being human?
Because it's being human. Now, I won't let either of us do anything.
You owe me $24 for the taxi plus tip. But what for the traffic I in here half hour ago?
It's just as well. We didn't expect you here until now.
I went to 5 stores looking for that special taxi. Well, I couldn't see myself spending that kind of money. So I went downtown to that little test where Mr. Cadell lives. But I'll tell you what, the next time we throw a party,
Good evening, Mr. Carlson.
my table.
Oh, we're just moving the things in here.
I personally thought my table was lovely.
Oh, it was quite lovely, but as you know, Mr. Kentley coming to look at the books, and well, you wouldn't want the poor old man to have to get on his knees to see them, would you?
Well, that's not right, which
Peculiar.
peculiar. No, you don't go there. Go there at all.
Oh, on the contrary, I think they suggest a ceremonial altar, heaped with the foods of our sacrificial feasts.
He is right. I mean, there's hardly enough room for me to put things out properly, is there, Mr. Phillip?
Oh, you can make do.
You two will be the death of me. And what's to be done with the books?
I will just leave them here on this new dining room table.
Well, I still think it's a crazy idea. But I don't have time to discuss it now. But I still think it's peculiar.
What on earth is the matter?
She notice.
Notice what?
The rope, Brandon. You have to hide it.
Why?
Why?
Yes, why? Just a piece of rope, an ordinary household article. It belongs in the kitchen drawer. Mrs. Wilson,
Yes?
there's champagne in the ice buckets.
Oh, we're giving them champagne?
Oh, we are.
Oh, well, it's going to be that kind of a party. I guess I better dial up. We only serve champagne at Mr. Dell's on very high occasions. Matter of fact, he and I was shared a glass together on the birthday.
Well, Mrs. Wilson, tonight you have the opportunity to renew that romance. So Mr. Cadell's coming.
Mr. Cadell is terribly nice.
Rupert's coming? Yes, I thought I told you. No, you didn't.
I must say, I did like working for Mr. Cadell. Such a gentleman. Though I'll tell you, some people do think he's peculiar, but I certainly think that he's a good guy.
I thought you liked Rupert. I do. Then what? All the people on this earth, Rupert Cadell is the one man likely to suspect. One man likely to see this from our angle, the artistic one. That's what's exciting. I'm glad it excites you. It frightens me. Suggest you keep your voice down. It would have been too easy with the others, Phillip, and too dull. As for Rupert, I once thought of inviting him to join us. Oh, why didn't you? Because the more the merrier. Oh, intellectually, well, it's brilliant, but he's a little too fastidious. Could have invented and could have admired, but he never could have acted. That's where we're superior. We have courage. Rupert doesn't.
Mr. Cadell got a bad leg in the war for his courage. And you've got your sleeve in the veggies. You've got your sleeve in the veggies. Oh, they're here. Are we ready?
Ready as we'll ever be.
Now, you don't get stuck behind that piano and forget to eat, all right? You're being too okay. And don't you let them gobble up all that good activity before you had any. Let's hope this is a successful trade. You know, there wouldn't be all the couple of double pieces to potato.
Now the fun begins. Oh my gosh. Great. Hello, Kenneth. Good to have you here. Good to see you.
How you guys been?
Oh, nothing to speak of, and you?
Nothing much. I'm just getting ready for exams. I always have to start cramming before everyone else.
Well, you are the first one here.
Oh, why is I'm always so early at parties?
Probably because you're always on time. Mrs. Wilson, champagne?
Yeah, it's someone's birthday too, is it?
Oh, don't be so worried, Kenneth. It's really almost the opposite.
The opposite?
Philip bidding the world a temporary farewell. Driving up to Connecticut. Florida.
Oh, where are you going?
Just to Brandon's mother's place for a few weeks. I'm to be locked up.
What?
To make sure he practices 6 hours a day. I finally wrangled the debut for town hall at that.
Oh, wonderful. I hope you're not dead.
Thank you. Oh, most gentle.
You think so?
Hey, I feel pretty honored.
Oh, why's that?
Well, it seems like a pretty small farewell party.
Oh, well, we're really killing two birds with one stone. The party's also for Mr. Kentley.
David's father?
Yes.
Oh, is David gonna be here?
Of course.
Who else is coming?
Oh, well, no, you don't know if that's what you're worried about. The Kentleys, Janet Walker.
Janet.
Yes, I thought you'd be glad to see her, won't
Oh,
you?
Brandon, Janet and I are all washed up, didn't you know?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
You knew, Phillip.
I've heard vague rumors, but I never pay attention to that sort of thing.
This shit you had.
Why?
Well, David and Janet are, may I?
Oh, well, cheer up. You know, I have the oddest feeling that your chances with the lady are better than you think.
What do you mean?
You smell dreamy. What is
Oh,
it?
that's swill you gave me last Christmas.
Oh, I know. I had good taste.
You do. You look lovely.
Oh, I won't by the time it's all paid for. Was that funny? I never know if when I'm being funny. Whenever I try to be, I lay the bomb of all time. Phillip! What is this rumor I hear about you in town hall? I bet you're gonna play a foul trick on all of us and become horribly famous.
I believe you two have met.
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Jan.
Wasn't that fascinating? I seem to have run down.
Well, what would you say to some more champagne?
Hello, champagne. You see what I mean about how you're funny? How have you been, Karen?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. How's the new job?
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm writing that same dreary article on how to keep the body beautiful.
For whom this time?
An untidy little magazine called Allure. Oh, thank you, Chuck. This painting new.
Ah, it is. You like it?
What is it?
New Young American Primitive.
Well, I have a new young American sister. She's 3 and her stuff is really primitive. You dirty dog.
Why?
I could really strangle you, Brandon.
What have I done this time?
At times, your sense of humor is a little too malicious, Chuck.
What are you chattering
Why
about?
did you invite Kenneth?
Why not?
You know perfectly well why not. He and I called it quits ages ago, and I'm practically engaged to his best friend.
David?
Yes, David, which makes everything just ginger peachy.
Well, I'm sorry, Janet, but it is a little difficult to keep up with your romances. First me, then Kenneth, and now David? Why the switch from Kenneth to David anyway?
Obviously, I think he's nicer.
Well, he's certainly richer.
Oh, that's a new low even for you, chum. How long has it been since I said, oh, it tickles? Why don't you tell me?
I hear Rupert's coming.
Oh, he was invited, but you never know.
Well, I hope he does. How is he?
Who is he?
Rupert Cadell was our housemaster at Somerville.
Oh, housemaster for you 3 little.
Poor little dears. He tried valiantly to teach David too.
Well, Rupert's a publisher now?
I'm successful, maybe you could get me a job.
Rupert only publishes books he likes, usually philosophy.
Oh, small press, big words, no sales.
Right? Well, Rupert's extremely radical. Do you know that he selects his books based on the assumption that he can actually read and think? Curious fellow, but I like it.
Well, you always did. Golly, those bull sessions that you remember used to have in school. Brandon used to stay up till all hours of the master speed.
Well, I suppose he means Rupert's impatience with social conventions. For example, he thinks murder is a crime for most men, but
A privilege for the few.
yes. Don't worry, Mrs. Wilson, I will answer the door. Oh, Mr. Kentley, so glad you could come.
Oh, thank you, Brandon. Mrs. Kentley as well, so I have the liberty of inviting my sister-in-law. Mrs. Atwater. Thanks.
Well, delighted to have you, Mrs. Atwater.
Oh, delighted to come, dearest wife. I have been in New York for 2 weeks. And Alice has been ill almost the whole time, and Henry is forever cataloging his library.
Oh, no, Anita. Occasionally, I even read one of my books.
Oh, I'm gonna visit. This is just my second party, but I suppose it's only fair.
I'm sorry to hear Mrs.
May I
Kentley's
get
story.
Oh, no, it's just a cold.
Colds can be very dangerous this time of the year. I hope she's staying in bed with lots of fruit juice.
She is.
Well, that'll do me.
Thank you. Very kind of you to invite me to come and see your book spread.
Oh, no. I merely wanted to show off to someone who really knows first edition.
Oh, dangerous in this heat? Oh, yeah. I don't understand that at all.
Had one myself 2 years ago this time. Almost down 3 weeks. The doctors were just about ready to move.
Oh, no, you made a mistake. This is Kenneth Laurents.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all right, Anita. Kenneth is often mistaken for David by people who aren't nearsighted. Well, we haven't had the pleasure of observing the resemblance lately, my boy. Haven't been studying, have you?
I've been trying to, sir.
Oh, the resemblance is only physical.
I believe you both know Miss Walker.
Janet, my dear, I just finished working out your horoscope right before he left. Oh. The stars are very kind. They indicate a marriage very soon to a tall, dark-haired young man with a very lovely father.
Oh, Anita, I told you that a week ago.
No. Well, it's what you did. But The stars confirm it.
Mrs. Atwater, may I present Mr. Phillip Morgan?
How do you do?
Oh, you hurt your head.
Oh, it's nothing, just a little cut. What happened? Nothing, the glass was cracked and it broke, that's all. May I get you some champagne?
No, I should adore it. Daddy used to have a glass every morning at 11, but of course, he doesn't like it.
Oh, Mr. Kentley, may I get you something?
I like a little scotch and a lot of water, if you don't mind. Is David here?
Well, I expect him to come with you.
Oh, no, he called and said that he'd meet us here.
Where did he call from?
Oh, our maid spoke to him. Oh, yes, he was at the club studying for his examinations in tennis.
Oh, the trouble with David is he doesn't have to study. He's too bright.
But David does all right, very much so,
Thank you. How's Mrs. Kentley?
as usual. It's cold this time. Well, I do hope David arrives soon. She wants him to call her.
Oh, well, David's her only child, Mr. Kentley.
Well, he's my only child, too. But, you know, I prefer manners.
Yeah, let him grow up a little bit. Why don't you call her and tell her he's been detained?
No, you mustn't ever.
Oh, well, maybe he stopped by to see her. Maybe you could call somewhere.
Of course, in the bed.
Oh, we'll see.
Aren't you ready for another?
Oh, I will be.
I
What a charming young man. I wish David saw more of him.
Kenneth, there's too much air in your glass.
Mine's fine, thanks.
Hey, would you mind taking this to Janet?
Sure. Why?
No reason. It's hers. I thought you might like to take it to her. She's in the bed.
Yeah, then you'd like David to walk.
No, that'd be too much of a shock.
July 14th, can you really tell my future from that?
Oh, I'm only an amateur astrologer.
I'm sure you're very good.
I do my best. So I suppose you want to know if your concert will be a success.
Well, yes, I do.
Let me see your hands. Good fingers. Strong. Artistic.
And what about the concert?
Oh, these hands, they will bring you great fame.
Well, I consider myself a very fortunate man today. I'm on hand for the grand opening.
Of what?
Of your collection, so to speak.
Oh, yes, of course.
Lovely.
Your wife sends her love.
David wasn't there.
No, he'll probably be here in a minute, though.
Such as food, Phillip. I was beginning to think you weren't going to show.
You know me better than that.
Mrs. Atwater, may I present Mr. Rupert Cadell?
Delighted.
Mr. Kentley.
Mr. Kentley, hello. Rupert Cadell, the headmaster at Somerville. I used to be. Yes. You must have taught my son David. You flatter me. Hello. Oh. You must be Miss Walker.
How'd you know?
Brandon's school.
Did he do me justice?
Do you deserve justice? Oh, my little Kenneth Laurents, how you grow.
Hello,
Kenneth, school's out, you can say it.
you're the same as ever, Rupert, and it's not looking to see you again.
Why?
Oh, well. It's,
Don't mind me, it's very nice to see you again. And that bears a curious resemblance to champagne.
It is.
Thank you. Very good champagne. What's the occasion?
Well, I told you over the phone. It's well, it started as a party for Mr. Kentley to look at the books, but then we found out Phillip and I were going to the country.
Yes, he told me that too, Brandon.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's for a farewell party for Phillip.
Therefore, champagne?
Yes.
I see.
Well, it's true.
You always did stutter when you were excited.
Well, I guess I'm always excited to give a party.
Really? Well, there you are. Well, what have we here?
I got that special pate you like.
I don't like it anymore.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just teasing. Just teasing.
Awful.
Thank you.
You better get the car ring up. The rest of the stuff will be out in 2 shakes. Oh, I found it, Mr. Brandon.
Well, I haven't the least idea what it was she lost.
Wonderful, Mrs. Wilson. I may marry her.
What's happened, Leah? I hope David gets here soon.
Yes, where is David?
I have the faintest idea, but he's so late. Mr. Kentley's getting annoyed.
And you?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Brandon, exactly what is this?
Oh, a pastone I got in Italy.
No, I mean, why are we eating off it?
Well, the living room is dressed as the dining room.
And a library? Trust you to find a new use for a chest. One was always turning up in the bedtime stories he told in prep school. The mistletoe bough. That was always your favorite tale, wasn't it?
So what's that one about?
Oh, I don't quite remember how it started. It was about a very lovely young
She was a young bridesmaid, and on her wedding day, she playfully hid herself in a chest.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, but unfortunately, it had a spring on it. 50 years later, they found her skeleton.
I don't get that playful.
Would you all please help yourselves?
Tommy the skeleton. In the retrospective at the Paris.
Yes, I adored it.
Did you? Good. Didn't like the young girl in that last one though. Definitely Scorpio.
No, I didn't like her much either, but her clothes were fabulous.
Simply divine.
Absolute heaven.
I must see it.
I would pass it for James Mason.
Was he good?
Oh, absolutely terrific.
So attractively sinister. Oh, Taurus. The Volvio, so constant.
Really?
Oh, but I have a confession to make. Do you know, I think I like Mason just as much as Harold Flint's.
I'll take Cary Grant myself.
Oh, God, so lie. Capricorn, the goat. He leads divine. So much. Ooh,
Yes.
Absolutely.
oh, he was drooling in that thing with Bergman. What was it called? Something of the something. Nope, that was the other one. This is just plain something. And you know, he was sort of, you know,
It was right on the tip of my tongue.
Mine too. I'm sure it was just plain something. Oh, and Bergman.
Oh, she's the Virgo type like always.
Oh, I think she's lovely.
I saw a movie once. I saw Mary Pickford.
Oh, I was mad about her. Did you just love her?
Well, the Virgo type, like all of these.
What did you see her in?
Oh, I don't quite recall the something something, or was it just plain something? Something rather like that.
I don't believe you ever went.
If I were you, I'd lay off the pate fever. Calories.
Phillip, would you mind helping with that one? I'd be glad to. Sit down, Mrs. Atwater. I'll bring it to you.
Oh, thank you so much, dear boy.
Well, I must apologize for David. I can't think of what's keeping him.
Oh, well, David is very popular. He's over here for the weekend.
Here, let me hold.
Oh,
White or dark?
a little of both. This for Miss Atwater.
What about you?
Oh, I don't eat it.
Oh, weird. I just never heard of anyone who didn't eat chicken. Did you, Brandon? I'm sure you have. Why don't you eat it, Philip?
I just don't.
Oh, there must be a reason. Freud says that there's a reason for everything, even me.
There's no reason, Janet. No reason at all.
As I recall, Philip, you have a very funny reason, doesn't he, Brandon?
Yes.
There has to be a reason. What is it?
Oh, it's nothing too much.
I think it's quite fascinating.
Well, all right. Well, it happened about 3 years ago in Connecticut. My mother has a place there, you know. It was a lovely morning late spring. We wanted to have chicken, so we walked across the farm. Oh, the valley, the church bells were ringing. And across the yard, Phillip was doing likewise to the necks of 2 or 3 chickens. It was a task usually performed very confidently, but on this particular morning, his touch was perhaps trifle delicate. But one of the subjects of our dinner table suddenly rebelled. Like Lazarus, he rose.
It's a lie, Philip.
Not true. I never strangled a chicken and you know it.
That's enough.
I never strangled a chicken in my life.
It just seems very funny you two being so intense about an old dead chicken.
Sorry. We were ridiculous and very rude. I apologize for us and the story.
Is it over?
Afraid so, Rupert.
In a moment, you might have strangled each other instead of a chicken.
Mr. Cadell, really?
Well, a man's honor was at stake. And personally, I think a chicken is as good a reason for murder as a blonde, a mattress full of $100 bills, or any customary unimaginative reasons.
Oh, Rupert, you don't have proof of murder, if I may.
You may, and I do. Think of the problems it would solve: unemployment, poverty, standing in line for theater tickets.
Oh, I had a perfectly dreadful time getting tickets to that new musical. What is it called?
Something with what's her name? My dear Mrs. Atwater, careful application of the trigger finger, and a pair of seats in the first row is yours for the shooting. And have you had any difficulty getting into our 5-star restaurants?
Frightful.
A very simple matter. Look at the knife, madam. And if you'll kindly step this way. Oh, no. Please step over our head server's body. Thank you. And here's your table.
Rupert, you were the end.
You're the hotel clerk. I can certainly cook a knife.
No, sorry. Knives may not be used on hotel employees. They are in the death by slow torture category, along with bird lovers, small children, and tap dancers. Landlords, of course, are another matter. You looking for a party? Please call on our stash weight of the blunt instruments department.
Oh, it's a fine idea. If it suits your purpose merely. Oh, but wait, then I'll be murdering each other.
No. There is. Not one of the 7 lively, perhaps, but an art, nevertheless. As such, the privilege of committing it should be reserved for those few who are truly superior individuals.
And the victims, inferior beings whose lives are unimportant.
Obviously. Now, mind you, I don't hold with the extremists who feel it should be open season for murder all year round. No. Personally, I prefer to have cut of throat week or strangulation day. Yes, Mr. Kentley.
Yes. Probably the symptom of approaching senility, but I must confess, I don't appreciate this morbid humor.
The humor was unintentional.
You can't be serious about these theories.
Of course he is.
Oh, you're both pulling my leg.
No, then why wouldn't we?
Well, the notion that murder is an art form which superior beings should practice.
In season.
Now I know you're not serious.
But I am. I'm a very serious person.
Then just who, may I ask, to decide if a being is inferior and therefore a suitable victim for murder?
Well, the privileged few commit.
Oh, and just who might they be?
Oh, myself, Phillip, possibly Rupert.
I'm sorry, Kenneth, you're out.
Gentlemen, I'm serious.
And so are we. The few are those men of such intellectual and cultural superiority. They are above the traditional moral concepts. Good and evil, right and wrong are invented for the ordinary, average man, the inferior man, he needs.
So you agree with Nietzsche and his theory of the Superman?
I do.
So did Hitler.
Hitler was a paranoid savage. His Supermen, all fascist Supermen, were brainless murderers. I'd hang any who were left. But I'd hang them first for being stupid. I'd hang all incompetents and fools. There are far too many in the world.
Then perhaps you should hang me. I must be stupid because I don't know if you're being serious or not. In any case, I'd rather not hear any more of your, forgive me, contempt for humanity and the standards of a world that I believe is civilized.
Civilized?
Yes.
No, but well, perhaps what is civilization is hypocrisy. Fortunately, Rupert has the intelligence and imagination.
Brandon, we've had just about enough.
Phillip, where did you put those books you set aside for Mr. Kentley? I'd like to see them myself, if I may.
They're right over on the console there. You seen them before?
Oh, it's quite all right, my boy.
It's good collection, I think, for the first dishes I made.
Oh. Yes. Yes, I'd like to see. May I make a phone call first? I'd like to talk to my wife. She may have some words from Dave.
Of course, it's this way.
Brandon,
Yes.
you were pushing your point rather hard. You aren't planning to do away with a few inferiors by any chance.
I'm a creature of whim. Who knows? Mrs. Atwater, wouldn't you like to see some books?
Oh, I should love it. know. As a girl, I used to read quite a bit.
We all do strange things in our childhood. Kenneth, a little atmospheric music goes a long way.
Sly little devil. Don't let us back together with sweet music.
Don't let it get you. It's always doing something like this.
I'm going into the other room.
See the books?
No, to let Brandon see me.
You care what he thinks?
I know what he thinks. He thinks that I threw you over because David has a bigger bank account.
And why do you go?
Because I'm embarrassed at being here with you.
Oh, Janet.
You never thought I could be, did you?
Well, honestly, no.
Well, I am. And I don't like it one bit. I think you have the decency to be embarrassed yourself.
Why?
Because you threw me over, Sean, remember? My friend Brandon loved to know that. What's the matter?
Nothing. Thinking
About what?
about vanity.
Well, I'm also embarrassed because
Why?
you and David used to be such good friends. And you're not now, and it's my fault. I'm such an idiot girl.
No, you're not.
Well, I'm certainly giving a good impression of one. Why must I be so smart with everyone but David?
Aren't you kid with David too?
I relax with David now, thanks to you.
To me.
Yes, that grim Sunday at Harvard when you called it quits. David took me for a walk. My chin was about an inch from the ground. I just couldn't be the gay girl anymore. I just relaxed and I let everything pour out, all the real me stuff. Did you hear that phrase? I hear myself saying stuff like that. And where is David?
You know, I'm not very sophisticated.
Why?
Why, I never knew that you were so. Brandon is adversary. You're in love with Dave, right?
Yes.
Oh, get it.
Yeah, what?
Brandon made a crack when I got here. He implied I might still have a chance with you because David's out of the running.
Wait, before I got here, Brandon knew that you and I had broken up?
He even knew about you and David.
But Kenneth, he pretended to be completely ignorant when I told him. He said that,
What's going on here?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out once and for all. Brandon,
Yeah,
may I see you for a moment?
certainly.
Why can't he keep his hands off of
No,
people?
no, I'll be right back. Be right back.
Brandon, what exactly are you up to?
Up to getting you a coffee if you
Let's
like.
dispense with the charm. I wonder why you had the gall to tell Kenneth that he didn't have to worry about me and David much longer.
Well, I don't think that's exactly what I
It's
said.
what you implied, and I want to know why.
You know, Janet, some women are quite charming when they're angry. Unfortunately, you're not.
And cut that out, Brandon.
Oh, well, chivalry rears its ugly head.
I don't believe that David is coming.
Wait and see.
I don't have to. He is never this late. He's never late at all. If something had happened, he would have phoned. I believe that you deliberately arranged it so that he wouldn't arrive.
Oh, well, how clever of me.
I should have known that you couldn't just give a party to Mr. Kentley to add something that would appeal to your warped sense of humor. Well, I hope that you've had fun, Brandon, because I haven't.
You shouldn't let him upset you.
Something gone wrong, Brandon?
No, Janet just has talent for being bothersome at times. However, I suppose that I better. Wait, what do you mean something gone wrong?
You always plan your parties so well, it's odd to have anything go wrong. She seems to be missing David. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to miss him myself.
Aren't we all?
No desserts, Mr. Cadell?
One for you and one for me, my love.
Oh.
The others don't seem to be in the mood for cake.
No, hell, they could all use with a little cooling off. My, this is a peculiar party. Not that that surprises me.
Why not?
Well, I could have predicted it this morning. Both of them must got up on the wrong side of the bed. They've been in a state all day.
Brandon says he's always in a state when he throws a party.
First I've seen it. Usually he lets me put things out myself, but look at this. Chicken's hardly been touched.
What was so different today?
What was it? Mr. Brandon was in the maddest rush for me to clean up and set the table, and oh, it was lovely. But then, just as I'm going to do the shopping, he suddenly tells me to take the whole afternoon for it. The whole afternoon. After that mad rush this morning.
Did he say why?
Just a whim, I suppose. But when I came back, he and Mr. Phillip were going at it, hammer and tongs.
Oh, what about?
Oh, now, Mr. Cadell, you know, if I knew, I couldn't tell.
Well, I hope so.
Not me. I'm like the grave. Look at this mess. Just double the work to me. I mean, I have to clean all the food up. Then I gotta take the books off. Then I gotta put the books back in the cabinet, which it was in the first place.
Why did you serve from here anyway?
What am I thinking? I mean, I had the table set out perfectly, but look on this thing, there isn't half the room. I mean, look at, you can see how bunched up the silverware is.
I think you've managed quite well.
Now managed, I guess, but it's still all bunched up.
Mrs. Wilson, is she harping on her table and how awkward it is to serve from this? It's much more convenient, you know, because this way, people don't have to go all the way to the dining room to get food and come all the way back to eat it.
Seems that's what they're doing now.
Mrs. Wilson, please serve the guests, don't lecture them.
Well, didn't we get up on the wrong side of the bed?
I'm in quite an embarrassing position.
What do you mean?
I seem to be the only one having a good time.
You and Mrs. Atwater?
What's going on, Phillip? You know, I get quite intrigued when people don't answer questions. And quite curious.
You asked me a question?
Yes, Phillip, I asked you a question.
What was it?
I asked you what is going on here.
Party.
Yes. What is that? Party.
Thanks.
He said that it's gonna be done for spreading on the change.
I didn't mean I hadn't killed chickens.
That's what you said.
Well, I didn't think it was a suitable topic of conversation while we were eating.
You could have said that.
All right, I didn't,
We're not eating now, Philip. What did you lie to me for?
because I don't like to talk about.
About what? Strangling chickens?
I can't play with that thing.
I want you to have. Oh, it's extremely
Generous of you, Brandon.
Oh, no, I'm merely you appreciate it much. I do, Mr. Kentley.
That's very nice of you. What's wrong? You must come to dinner very soon. I'll get David to fix the day.
What's wrong now, Phillip? Well, you want Mr. Kentley to have it once?
No, I don't care if he has them. I think it's a clumsy way of tying them up, that's all.
You called Alice a little while ago, didn't you, Henry?
Yes,
No word from David?
no,
Well, I don't think you really ought to worry. David's just never had any trouble taking care of himself.
I know. But I can't understand this. I mean, every time that he's been detained, he's telephoned us. Isn't that so, Janet?
Yes, he's always been after me to be more punctual.
And while he might,
Well, you wouldn't know me nowadays. I'm a new woman. Punctual's a clock.
Oh, that's very unfeminine, my dear.
yes, perhaps, but I prefer manners to femininity.
Oh, Henry, you sound just like Daddy. I remember once when David was still at home.
Something, he isn't. Now, let up. I'd have a drink, Brandon. That's enough. Take your hand off me. Don't you ever again tell me what to do and what not to do. I don't like it and I'm not going to keep.
I hope I didn't upset Phillip.
No, no, you didn't upset him. He's more than likely mixing drinks.
You seem a little upset yourself.
Do I?
Yes. There's something upsetting the both of you a great deal. Something that
Excuse me, sir, there's a lady on the phone for Mr. Kentley or Miss Atwater.
Oh, it must be Alice. I'll talk to her, Henry.
All right.
It's the bedroom to the left down the hall.
Thank you.
Mr. Company, do you think this, David could be home?
I don't know. I hope so.
I hate to throw a damper, but if David was home, he'd be the one calling instead of Mrs. Kentley. Wouldn't you say so, Brandon?
I wouldn't know.
The David I remember was polite as well as very punctual.
Well, he hasn't changed.
Of course, if David isn't home, where could he be?
Well, don't ask me, I don't know.
It could be any number of places,
Such as,
Bradley's party, or the Harvard Club, or perhaps even the Janets.
why?
Maybe he decided to pick her up after all.
Well, I phoned my place after spoke to Mrs. Hadley.
He wasn't there.
No, I left a message just in case.
We might have a better chance of figuring out where David is now if we knew where he was that afternoon. What do you think, Brandon?
Well, I have the faintest idea where he was this afternoon.
Don't you think it would help if you knew where he was?
I suppose so.
Now, I know that he went to the club this afternoon. And I know that he got there.
How do you know?
Yes, because someone phoned the message saying that he'd meet us here.
Do you know who gave the message?
No,
Okay, obviously, David ran into somebody at the club and changed his plans. You weren't there by any chance, were you, Kenneth?
No, I wish I had been.
I don't suppose you or Brandon were there, Phillip?
No, hardly. We had all our hands full getting ready for the party.
Oh, was there a lot to be done this afternoon?
You know.
I see. So you didn't speak to David at all today?
No, why do you ask?
He might have phoned to say he'd be late or something.
No, neither Philip nor I have talked to David since we invited him to the party.
that's not.
What do you mean?
Sure, I thought I heard David on the phone to Phillip yesterday morning.
Oh, that's great. Yes, you had, I've forgotten.
What did he call about? Did he call about the party?
Yes, he had called to make sure about the time.
Here, I'll help you with that.
Thank you, Mr. Cadell.
That's all right, Mrs. Wilson. You can put the books back in the morning.
Well, I had no idea I was gonna be back in the morning.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to, Mrs. Wilson. Just let the books go for now.
All right.
Alice hasn't had a word from David and she's frantic.
Oh, I better talk to her.
Oh, Jaffe. She began to cry so badly. I'm worried.
What did she say?
Oh, that she's called every place he could possibly be. And not once, but several times. And now, Henry, she thinks he might have been in an accident. And she wants you to call the police.
No, Anita, I don't think that's necessary. David is no longer a child. I'm quite sure that he is all right. Brandon, I better go home. My wife needs me. This isn't like David.
I completely understand.
May I go with you, Mr. Kentley?
Yeah, thank you, Janet.
Let me get your things. Oh, Mr. Kentley, I don't think folks.
So,
You call me as soon as you hear from David.
yes, I'll be glad to.
I'm sure that your boy will turn up. Somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not hardly the time, but I'm very glad that I had a talk.
So am I. David will be too.
Good. Well,
Kenneth, why don't you come with us,
oh, I don't,
please?
thanks.
This yours, Janet?
I'll just go ahead and check it.
Oh, going with Janet.
Yes, we're all going together.
What did I predict? Goodbye, Mr. Kentley. Please let me know what Mrs. Kentley is there.
Thank you.
And you will call me as soon as you hear from David.
I will. Say goodbye to Phillip.
And Mrs. Atwater, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for letting me come. I'm so sorry we had to leave. Goodbye.
I'll get your hat, Mr. Cadell.
Careful of the stairs, Anita.
Thank you.
Oh. That's not sure.
Night. Mr. Kentley, may I help you with the book? Oh, thank you. Good night. It was lovely. Oh, it could not have gone more beautifully. Places are going to go down in history, and it could not have gone better.
Yes, it could, without Rupert.
What? Rupert? Oh, he was perfect, wasn't he? He let me say everything I wanted to say to those idiots. He gave the party the very touch I predicted.
A touch of what? Prying, snooping, or just plain pumping? You know how busy he was questioning me?
About what?
What difference? You were busy in there arranging that other little touch of yours.
Touch.
Hang the books up that way.
I thought that was brilliant. Didn't you like it?
No, Brandon, I didn't like it one bit. Only ruin everything with those neat little touches.
Careful. Mrs. Wilson is still here. You were determined to get drunk tonight, weren't you?
I am drunk.
And just as childish as before when you called me a liar.
You had no business telling that story.
Why did you lie?
Had to. You ever, for one moment, unbothered to understand how someone else might feel?
Well, I'm not sentimental if that's what you mean.
Not what I mean, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that Mr. Brandon liked the party. Mr. Brandon gave the party. Mr. Brandon had a terrific evening. Well, I had arrived. Keep drinking like that, you'll have a worse morning. At least if I have a hangover, it'll be all mine.
No, Phillip. We deserve a real vacation after it's all over. Where would you like to go? Well, we should come back here first, otherwise it might look.
I can keep praying I'd wake up and find we hadn't done it yet.
Why?
Scared to death, right? Think we want to get caught.
Oh, there's not a chance. Well, there was earlier, but not anymore. I mean, we're practically people. And Mrs. Wilson, you still here?
Yes, I'll need a key if I'm supposed to come back in the morning. That is if the two of you are still planning on driving up to the country center.
We're driving up, all right.
I must say, you don't look well, either one of you will. I could use a rest myself, but I want the two of you to come back in A1 tip-top shape.
We will.
All right, well, I'm off. Now, you have a good time and don't forget to write. Oh, and mind the P's and Q's.
Oh,
Who are you calling?
only the garage. Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Brandon Shaw. Could you send my car around, please? Yes, right away. Thank you. Oh.
Better draw the curtains. That. Brandon, who's that?
Probably in the garage, maybe my keys. Go answer.
Because it's time for you to get here yet.
Well, no, perhaps Miss Wilson forgot something. Go answer.
Brandon, couldn't we just pretend we're not here?
Oh, with all these lights on, Phillip, answer the buzzer.
Who is it? Brandon, it's Rupert.
What?
This forgot his cigarette case. He wants to come up.
Okay, let him up.
He knows. He's onto something.
Get back to that buzzer.
No, I won't.
Get back to that
I
buzzer.
can't.
Do it right now.
No, he knows.
Shut up.
Oh.
Hello? Yes, of course. No, he's in the little guy. Yes, I'm sure we'll find him in another time. Yes, come on up. Right. Phillip, you've got to pull yourself together. Rupert is coming up right now. And you've got to get yourself together, all right? Have another drink if you must, but pull it together for 5 minutes. One way or the other, Rupert will be out of here in 5 minutes. I don't know much, if anything, or what he knows. But I know that he will be out of here. Be out of here. You got that,
Brandon.
Now look, I'm not going to get caught because of you or anyone else. No one is going to stop me now.
Sorry to bother you, Brandon.
No bother, come right in.
I knew you were leaving tonight, and I didn't want to be left without my cigarette case. Hello, Phillip.
Hello.
I didn't mean to alarm you.
You didn't alarm him.
Oh, I
He's
thought,
just a little antisocial.
well, I thought perhaps
Any
I.
idea where you might have left it?
No, none at all. May I have one for the road?
Of course, a short one.
No, I prefer a long one. If you don't mind.
Of course. Phillip, will you fix Rupert a drink?
Now, let me see, the last I remember having the case, I was over there. Yes, that's right. I was just going to open the chest for Mrs. Wilson when you came over, and then I wonder where it could be. Huh. Oh. Well, here it is, right where I left it. Gentlemen, I beg your pardon. I'm very sorry. Well, may I have that drink anyway?
Of course.
You, really don't mind?
No. Why should we?
Well, you might be
What?
tired. Sure, it's all right.
He said you could have it.
Thank you.
Don't mind Phillip. A little antisocial, guys.
Well, why not? After all, it was a party. Well, it's very pleasant to sit here with a good drink and good company. I'm glad. Please don't let me get in the way. What? Well, I know you have things to do, such as packing, last minute odds and ends. You are driving to Connecticut tonight, aren't you?
Oh, yes, but we're all packed.
Oh, I see. Already. All except one guest who must be gotten rid of. Well, I'll be off.
Well, there's no need to hurry, Rupert.
Well, thank you. I would like to stay for a bit. Perhaps even see you off. I always hate to leave a party, especially when the evening has been as unusual or strange, like this evening.
What do you mean strange?
Did I say strange, Brandon?
You know, Rupert, sometimes you pick words for sound rather than.
Oh, well, I don't know exactly what I meant. Unless I was thinking about David.
What was strange about David?
It's not showing up. Don't think anything really did happen to him, do you?
What could have?
He could have been run over or held up.
In broad daylight?
Yes, that's right. It must have been broad daylight when it happened.
When, what?
When whatever did happen to David happened. Oh, it was nothing, probably. Still, where is David?
What's your theory?
Mine? Well, I was beginning to consider Janet's for the moment.
Oh, I didn't know she had one.
Yes, you did. I couldn't help it over here with Janet. She thinks you kidnapped David, or did something to prevent him from coming.
Well, Rupert, I'm not interested in Janice. You always interest me. So do you think I, kidnapped David?
It's the sort of mischief that would appeal to you in prep school. For the experience, the excitement, the danger.
It would be a little more difficult to pull off now, wouldn't it?
You find a way.
How? I mean, suppose you were I. How would you get David out of the way?
You're much better at this sort of thing than I am.
What would you do if you were I?
Well, If I wanted to get rid of David, I would invite him for a drink at the club or some quiet bar somewhere. Or better still, I'd invite him here. Then no one would see us together. That's good.
And no witnesses.
Then what? Let me think. At the right time, David would arrive. I'd greet him, tell him how fine he's looking and so forth. Probably take his coat. Then I would bring him in here. Make small talk to put him at ease. Then he would sit down. Well, I would try to make it all very pleasant, you understand? Phillip would probably play the piano. Now, as I recall, David was quite strong. He'd have to be knocked out. So I would very quietly move behind the sofa, and then I would hit him on the head with something, and he'd fall forward to the floor.
Where, but
Well, let me see. I would probably get Phillip to help me carry him out of the room, down the back stairs, and the two of us together would put him in the car.
you'd be seen.
What?
Well, you said it yourself. If something happened, it must have happened in broad daylight.
That's right. I'd forgotten. I would have to hide the body someplace until dark.
Yes, Rupert, but where?
Well,
Cat and mouse, Phillip. The cat, which is the mouse.
Easy.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Phillip, stop.
Told you before, don't you tell me what to do. Mind your own business.
Really isn't any of my business. I know this keeper. But with Phillip in this condition, I'm afraid it doesn't make much sense for you to stay here, Rupert. Unless you came to find something other than your cigarette case.
you mean, for example, to find out if you really got rid of David?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
You're as romantic as Janice. I didn't think for a moment that you kidnapped David. I'll admit, Janet put the notion in my head when I didn't even consider it. Weren't that you seem to be carrying the fear of discovery in your sash. What? It's a knife, isn't it? That teased my suspicions more than anything else. And to tell you the truth, it actually scares me a little. This? This, Rupert. What?
Here.
Relax.
I have to take it up to the country. Mother's Finish, Phillip.
All right.
Did you hear what Rupert said about the knife? he thought.
It's odd the way one can pyramid simple facts into wild fantasies.
Oh, we all do, don't we, Phillip?
Yeah.
Particularly after a few drinks. How is yours?
I think I'll be running along.
You know, Phillip, you'll feel much better once we get out in the open air. But there's not much traffic, and we ought to make good time.
Yes, it's a lovely night. You'll be driving up in good weather. I almost wish I were going with you. It might be rather exciting. Driving at night always is. But driving with you and Phillip now would have the additional element of suspense. You were right, Phillip. Those books were tied rather clumsily.
He's got it.
He's got it, Phillip. Chill. He knows. Take it easy, all right? Whoa.
No.
Got it.
Take it easy, Phillip, I got this, all right?
No, no, you don't. I told us to kill you, was kill him sooner. Oh, this is what you wanted, isn't it? Someone to us to know, somebody to see how quick you are, just like in school. Well, I warned you it was a bad idea, but you had to have them here. Now we're good for.
Shut up.
No, you made me do it, and I hate both of you. I was. Oh, no.
Battling drunk. Oh, I'm sorry, Regents.
It's all right. It's all right.
He didn't really want to kill us, you know? He didn't know what he was doing any more than he knew what he was saying. I didn't want to tell anybody this, but he's becoming an alcoholic.
Brandon, would you step over there, please?
You don't take these nightmare ideas seriously, do you?
Brandon, I'm tired. And in a way, I'm frightened too. I don't want to fence anymore.
What are you going to do?
I don't want to. But I have to look inside that chest.
Are you crazy?
I hope so.
No, this has nothing to do with you.
I've got to.
Don't.
I'm going to look inside this chest.
All right. Look inside. Right, like see. Rupert, let me explain. Explain. Explain it to you. I can't, Rupert, because of my stand. Understand? Yes. You remember the conversation we had here with Mr. Kentley about superior beings and inferior beings and good and evil and right and wrong. Remember? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
Well, that's all we've done. Well, that's all Phillip and I have done. He and I have lived what you and I have taught. Do you understand, Rupert? This is
Brandon. Brandon. To this very moment, this world and the people in it have been dark and incomprehensible to me, and I've tried to clear my way with logic and superior intellect. But you throw my own words right back in my face, Brandon. And you were right too. If nothing else, a man should stand by his words. But you've given my words a meaning that I never dreamed of. You tried to twist them into a cold, logical excuse for your ugly murder. But they were never that, Brandon, and you can't make them that. There must have been something deep inside you to let you do this thing. But there's always been something deep inside me that would never let me do it, and would never let me be a party to it now.
what do you mean?
I mean that tonight, you've made me ashamed of every concept I ever had of superior and inferior beings. But I thank you for that shame. Because now I know we are each of us a separate human being with the right to live and work and think as individuals, but with an obligation to the society we live in. But what right did you dare say that there is a superior view to which you belong? But what right did you dare decide that that boy in there was inferior and therefore should be killed? Did you think you were God, Brandon? Is that what you thought when you choked the life out of him? Is that what you thought when you served food from his grave? I don't know what you thought or what you are, but I know what you've done. Murder. You strangled a fellow human being who could live and love as you never could and never will again.
What are you doing?
It's what society is going to do. I don't know what that will be. I can guess. And I can help. You're going to die, Brandon. Both of you. going to die.
Come here. Solo. What happened?